Hello, welcome back to the Yet Here We Are podcast. This is your host, Shaq.
Holy Grail and
Lulu. Nice to meet y'all.
Okay, and this is episode 3. Yeah, episode 3. Yeah, this is episode 3.
So what had happened was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is episode 3.
Oh, yeah, episode 3 for sure. Absolutely.
So we are back. Welcome back. And today's topic is, when does a woman become a liability in a marriage or a serious relationship? So, you want to go, Abigail, or should I kick it off?
I mean, you can kick it off.
Okay, so when does a woman become a liability in a marriage or a serious relationship? So we're going to start from a standpoint, let's just say like the husband, or the man or whatever. Let's just say he brings a lot to the table as far as like a foundation, provider, protector. He listens, he's there mentally, he's there physically, he's there all around. Mm-hmm. So basically, for me, I would say a woman in a marriage or in a serious relationship, she becomes a liability to a man that brings all those good things to the table when she wants to alter his provision for their family. Mm. So if he's, so he set this foundation, y'all been going in a good direction, this, that, and the third, and like everything's been going good. Now she want to throw a wrench in the whole thing. Let's just say, because one day she wake up, because women do this shit, like, oh, I'm not feeling happy today because, I don't know, because of some dumb shit. So stuff like that. So that's when a woman becomes a liability, when she is thinking about herself instead of the family as a whole. So a lot of the times when a man is bringing himself to the table like a husband, and he's bringing all this stuff to the table, he's taking care of his family, and like everybody's good, then the woman's just like, okay, well, stop all this shit. This is how I'm feeling today. Mm-hmm. So fuck what you're doing, but let's focus on this one thing that I have going on. You know what I mean? Mm. So not saying that her feelings go unnoticed,
right, like
but
they're not valid.
There's a way, there's a time and place and a way you can get that across to him. Does that make sense?
When is the time?
The time is, so basically I would say the way you do it is, so assuming this man is working very hard and he never takes a break. Because if he takes a break, then shit, all hell is just gonna break loose. So, he's not missing no days of work. He's not missing no days of paying the bills. Like, he's literally handling his business.
So is this a woman who's like strictly stay at home, like solely having him like provide everything?
So that is a good question. So let's just say this is a woman.
We're talking about traditional relationship.
Well,
right?
No, I mean, it don't got to be traditional, because let's just say she working, but she may not be making as much as him.
Okay, so
he's bringing home majority, right?
First, before we deep dive into this, I think we need to dissect, because I hear so
just
much
different,
traditional. Yeah. What is a traditional relationship? Because I feel like so many people refer to that and never define what traditional relationship. Because I had this conversation, and their version of traditional and my version of traditional were two different traditions.
Right. So everybody has different definitions of what a traditional relationship is.
I think tradition to me is kind of like the old school. Well, there's different versions of it. Okay. I feel like the OG traditional way is like the man provides, take care of all the bills, the woman takes care of the house, make sure, the kids are good, this, that, and the third. Like, I feel like that's the OG traditional way. But to me, new generation wise, I feel like now how women are more want to be, they're not alphas, well, betas, I would say. They still want to work and still help their man out. So I feel like in this generation, that's kind of more traditional. Like, y'all are going 50-50, or maybe the man wants to be like 70-30. I feel like that might be a different tradition for this generation, maybe.
Because I'm like, is it tradition for women to relinquish their goals and what they want to do in order to maintain and sustain their family? Like, is that just a tradition of women?
So I heard what her traditional is. So what's traditional for you? Like, what does it mean for you first? So let's break that down.
For me, I think traditionally it's always been defined for men to be providers.
Okay.
And women to be nurturers, right?
Right.
But I think why we are getting away from that is because people were not really defining, okay, providing is just not only financial. You need to provide emotionally, and there are other elements that are being missed, right? And back then it was almost normalized to have some kind of domestic abuse within relationships. It's just like, you just try to keep the family together. Like that was traditional for you to.
I'm not gonna say that was normalized. I'm gonna say it was happening, and maybe women wasn't speaking up, which is kind of like happening today.
I feel like people know about it though. I feel like people be like, oh, well, your man at home hitting you, and they're just like, yeah, you. It's like,
but is that traditional?
But this is the thing though. What can you do if him or her don't want to do nothing about it?
That's their
Who
business.
are you to say on the outside what to do? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think I think women traditionally had to take on more trauma and had to be content with more things that were not healthy for them, you know? Yes. I think traditionally women were not viewed as equals.
Well, for me,
or like equals as a human being, right? Not equally, we have to come to the table with the same things, but let's say we're building a sandwich. We both aren't going to bring meat. Someone can bring bread, someone can bring lettuce, someone can bring cheese. You know what I'm saying? But someone needs to come with something. And I think that's why that's
always the traditional the setup for it. Like it is like, because hey, you're providing, well, I'll take care of the house. So I think that's
right. So basically traditional is like there's roles. There's defined roles within a relationship. And I would say just my opinion, I kind of like the traditional thing because I think deep down inside, like I love having the old type, the old school or whatever these modern men and women think. I kind of like having like that, like those old school values and those old school rules, because when I talk to my modern day married friends, like, I mean, a lot of the women, they may be happy at home, but they come to me complaining like, oh, I'm tired. I worked all these hours and I had to turn around and I had to cook and do all this. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, since y'all both work, that means that he's supposed to be sharing some of this cooking too. But it's not really like that a lot of times. But I will say this though. I think a lot of like modern relationships fail because women want to be too equal. They want to be equal when it's only convenient, when it only benefits them, and that's the problem. So when you are looking for a man or you're looking for a husband, right? Because majority of women, that's what we want. Even though we might sit in our friend's face and say, never getting married again, I'm never doing that. Like, that's a bunch of BS. The right man come along, you're going to do what the fuck you going to do.
God, you sound just like
that's what you're going to do. You're going to do it, right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
With that being said is like, you got this good man, but a lot of a lot of modern women, they run off good men because it's like they're trying to battle him when it comes to careers, money, this, that, and the third. You don't have to battle because a good man is going to let you sit in your feminine ways and he wants to see you blossom in those ways. I'm not saying you can't work, you can't bring home money, you can't do that. You can do those things, but a lot of modern women need to understand that. Stop trying to overpower that man. Let that man be a man. Let him call his shots, because if you married him or you're dating him, that means you trust his provisions, absolutely. You trust his ideas, you trust the foundations he's providing. So don't pick a man if you're gonna question his movement, his moves.
I agree.
Because why are you dating him? You don't trust him.
I mean, but dating or being in a relationship, you're unfolding different layers of that person. So maybe they did well 6 months and then you start seeing new things pop up and it's like, oh,
right. But sometimes those new things could be like kind of like a little trial and error type thing. But at the same time,
that can make you lose trust.
Women have to understand that, like, I feel like women really don't be knowing their place in these relationships. So
what is that?
So your place is, for an example, let's just say you marry this man, right? So let's just say you marry this man and he's a great man. He is good. Like, he's a good man. He handle his business. He's there for the kids, all y'all. You don't have to question shit. He's a good man, right? Mm-hmm. You know, he have his up and downs. Okay, he may, I don't know. He probably didn't walk the dog one day. Some bullshit like that. Like, whatever, right? But at the end of the day, he's a good man. So a lot of, like, women, they have a good man, but they still trying to find themselves to try to, like, run a competition in with him. Sometimes a woman can talk her ass out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that shit.
Yes,
we will talk our shit out.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean, like, he's good. That means all around. That means himself, spiritually, mentally, physically.
That's great.
Healthily, like, he's a good man.
That doesn't mean that he's the man for you. And
right.
Maybe when you're going through these motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like, he could be funny, but he's not funny to me.
And that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no fucking man, because he's a good man, but because he's not funny, you gotta throw that out.
It's not just one thing, but maybe it's
that's
just
true. Sometimes
you're looking at multiple things and you're like, okay, we just don't align. Like,
right, but why would you get that deep?
What do you mean?
Like, if you know he not funny or y'all don't align, you usually can kind of peek that out within 60 days. Maybe even 30 days.
But sometimes you let things, you're like, maybe I will grow to like these qualities about.
Girl, I'm really in between the middle. No, I'm really interested. You're really interested.
No, this is good. Like, let's just say,
because y'all both have different scenarios, so I'm listening to both sides. I'm like,
no,
well, she gotta play. Shit.
Okay, so I would say I am not. I just don't think traditional ways really work for me, right?
Right, yeah, and that's okay.
So, but I don't really know what a modern woman is. Like, I feel like defining the type of woman you want to be is just you figuring out who you are for yourself, and then you're able to communicate that in your relationships. And
absolutely,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but if because I love to cook, I like to clean, right? Yeah. I like to be provided for, but I also like to work. I like, all these different elements, but I don't think if you are not doing what, taking care of the house, if y'all don't have no kids, if y'all you can really define your relationship at that point in time and not have to stick to societal standards of what makes you a good woman. I don't believe in that.
Well, I don't know what people say. I believe you don't have to be a wife to be a good woman. You don't have to be a girlfriend to be a good woman.
Because everybody ain't meant to be a wife.
Yeah, everybody. You don't have to do that. But I will say this though, because you said you don't know what a modern woman is. Look, we are modern women.
So you consider yourself? You said you were more traditional.
No, because physically I'm a modern woman. Because now in my inside my household I am traditional, but the way I dress and the way I go out with my friends, I mean, let's be honest, that's some modern shit. Mm-hmm. But in my household, I'm very traditional. Like, when my husband says, we're doing this, I made these decisions financially. This is the plan or the oversee for the next year. I'm going to follow that shit because I married you and I'm holding you to that shit because now you took me in, you took me from my father, my family. You wanted to marry me, and obviously I said I do because I want to marry you too. So you took me off my daddy's. I'm not his problem, or I'm not his responsibility. You took me from him. Now I'm your responsibility. And with that being said, I gave you children. So as a man, as my husband, I trust you with not only my life, but with our seeds as well. So when he says we're doing this, Like, this is the map out of the next year or the next 3 months. I'm going to trust you, and that's where we going.
Okay, so with that, right, because that caught me at a second. So I know we all about, letting a man be an alpha and trusting him with his decisions, stuff like that. But at the same time, too, don't you think that if we're in a partnership together, something should be addressed to get like, hey, let me know what's going on before you sit here and be like, I'm making this decision off.
Yeah, he tell me. That's why he comes to me and he's like, he literally has a whole layout, right? He was like, this is going to be like this for X, Y, and Z reasons.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And I'm like, okay, because I don't got to question you. But if you just come to me like, we're doing this, that's it. No. You going to come to me and, okay, the reasons, boom, boom. Okay, got you, cool. There's nothing to argue with. Now, if I say, obviously I am human, so I'm going to have ideas and I tell him. Now, he do what he want with them. He use them. If he don't, he don't. But if he don't, I'm not crying in a puddle, because at the end of the day, when I wake up, we're good. I'm good. So I just feel like a lot of women are scared to give men that kind of attention or that much, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but a lot of women these days are afraid to really lean on a man that much, is because they probably don't know how to pick them. So a lot of these women are out here having babies by these dudes that still laying on their mama couch, or they stay with 5 of their fucking homeboys, and then you had a baby and then you get mad because they can't fucking provide. So now you're like, oh, I'm not trusting these. No, honey, you can't trust what you picked. Oh. That's the thing. So a lot of these women, like when I talk the way I talk, how I explain how my shit go, they're like, how do you do that? Oh, honey, because I know how to pick him. I know how to pick. I know where to look for. Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of modern women battle when they are dating. Like, you don't want to look for nothing equal as a woman. Why do you want to be equal to a man? For what? The shit they go through, I don't want to go through that shit. Like, society-wise, like, that's just keeping it real. But women, we want to be equal, as I said before, when it's beneficial to us. But in a relationship, some women, like I'm guessing both, a partnership, which is cool. Y'all can be equal like that. But at the same time, like, a man is just always going to want to feel like he the man. And it's important that as a woman, you make him feel that way, because he needs a purpose. It's like a purpose. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to come home to a woman like, shit, now I gotta see what her ass gonna battle me about. You know what I'm saying? So you can still have that partnership, but at the end of the day, if y'all let the man be a man, like, I promise, and you pick the right one, I promise the shit is gonna flow so beautifully.
Do you know what we have to pick from? Do you know what's out here? You must not know.
I was waiting. You know who I thought was gonna say that? I thought she was gonna say that.
She took it right out of my mouth.
I thought you was gonna say that.
We can't pick them. Do you know we got Day Day and Nunu and like,
I'm glad that you said that.
I'm not saying all of them are all like that.
It's very rare to find a man who's a solid man. And if you
solid
got
people,
kids,
I don't want to just leave it to one gender. But
I do get what you're saying.
The women and the men pickings now have become it's very sad. Even finding friends have become a challenge, because and I was doing my research on this, like, why are we the way we are, right? Mm-hmm. And it's millennials that got into this whole you get a participation award, No Child Left Behind.
Okay.
You know those things that they kind of instilled in us when we were little. So now we feel like, okay, we need to get stuff easy. And if it's not easy, we need to let it go. It ain't for us. We're not going to work hard, because I need my certificate at the end of this. Yeah. If we're not about to fight for nothing, because we never had to. It was just like, we going to move you along because no child gets left behind. So it's like we didn't grow up with any scenarios or anything that makes us really fight and work hard to sustain and have a long-term gratifying results, right? Mm-hmm. So that's part of the problem and we don't have values like our parents. So if your parents might have been a boomer or X, Generation X, they were either helicopter parents or way too strict, but being on like either ends of the spectrum of not doing enough. And now there's a whole generation of not doing enough parenting. How did we go from
doing too much?
I don't know about y'all parents. Were y'all parents very strict?
Oh yeah.
Mine was strict.
Oh yeah.
Mine was strict, but they were fair.
Oh yeah. My mama ain't play that shit.
Oh, what?
My parents were strict, but they were fair. But they were strict though, yeah.
But and it's like, but now you don't see as much strict parents. So there's gonna be a whole different type of people that come from.
But you know what that is though, right?
Please let me know.
Because the reason why you may not see a lot of strict parents is because number one, like, who the hell is in the household to be a strict parent?
My dad was a single dad.
A lot of people out here are like, just, you know, they're having these babies and it's either, okay, well, we gonna leave them with grandma because daddy doing whatever he want and mommy want to go party because they having these kids so early that now they got to play catch up with their life. So now the baby's at home all the time while the mommy be out. That be happening.
I don't think women are really partying.
They out getting their life.
Some are.
Some are.
But not all of them.
That's not.
Well, not all of them, but
majority of.
That's like one of many reasons.
But I feel like there's a lot of people who are like working multiple jobs because right now it's hard.
Yeah, that's true.
In now's times, you gotta have 2-3 jobs just to sustain like a minimum.
Rent.
Yeah. Like it's not the same
but
reality.
It don't gotta be like that if women will pick right.
I don't think it's based on women though.
What about the women who don't get picked? They gotta work.
But it's not even that. But why is it always based on a woman gotta be like she gotta pick the right man? It's the men.
But this is the thing though.
But we have to pick them or vice versa. We have to pick each other.
Y'all
are not being held accountable. That's the issue.
No, but see, this is the thing though.
Both.
They act like that because they know there's women out there that's gonna tolerate half-ass men.
That's the women fault.
That's the thing.
But
that's what I'm saying.
But it's
that's
also
the
too. It's the men. But the men are trying to get away, which they half-assing themselves. They're like, oh, I'm gonna act like.
But they're gonna do it because there's women out there still accepting.
Nobody, but it's not being held accountable.
But then you got women out there like that's why you're 40 with 5 cats.
But they're also accepting it because it's like that's all they got.
One of these low like quality.
But they're accepting it because that's all that they have out here now. Like I'm not trying to say that's all men like that, but it's like. Half of these men is like the bottom of the fucking barrel. Right. Like there's not much out there.
But I do get what y'all saying when y'all say, have you been out here dating? Because I'm married, so I ain't been out there. So I will give y'all that. I heard it's wicked out there. I heard it's ugly.
I saw your comment. That's why y'all single. No, look, your ass is probably single.
I'm not single.
Like, okay. I just want it to be known, like, some people being single is not a bad thing. Some people really need to take that time to know themselves very well. So you trying to say that's why you single? Yes, exactly. That's why I'm single because I'm working on myself. I'm getting myself together and I'm not going to jump into a relationship just because society tells me that that's what makes me a good woman or I'm getting to an age where I need to settle down. Well, I haven't found my person. And I'm not just going to settle. Yeah. I'm not just going to pick somebody because they said, I want you. Well, I don't want you.
And you shouldn't settle.
But it's just like, but it's a lot of women who are getting judged because it's like, you're old and you don't have anyone. And it's like, I haven't found somebody that makes me happy.
So you say they're getting judged?
Yeah.
Is it judge or is it some kind of truth to it though? Because I mean,
it
let's
could
be honest.
Both. But at the end of the day, I feel like realistically, like as a woman, you know, you don't have to settle for shit. Like to me, if I gotta be 45 years old and single, I'd rather be happy and single and 45 than be cuffed and in a relationship with somebody and be miserable. Like I'm not gonna do that to myself.
I mean, yeah, I don't want you to be goddamn miserable.
Oh, of course not. But you know, being in a relationship, like I know what's like. You know, they have his ups and downs, of course, absolutely. But to me, you gotta stop settling, no matter what. I feel like,
and
I hate how it's like women are like a liability, but it's men too. Yeah. But I know the topic is women right now, but. Both are a liability with a lot of aspects. So honestly, all this is just like,
yeah, I'm honestly exhausted of this debate in relationships 50-50. You know, men need to, you know.
And then it's like that topic too. We talked about, you know, relationships are the woman working. So we think about liability of a couple of a man providing and a woman who's not working. Like what makes her a liability? Like what makes her
a woman that don't work?
Mm-hmm. Like what makes?
Oh, that's easy. If your husband is busting his ass and
you just
ain't working,
bread
and you become a liability when you cannot, when you know offer peace to him or in your home, you become a liability when you stop supporting his provisions, his ideas, the way he see things. Like that's easy. That's when you become a liability because now he's like, I'm busting my ass for a woman that is ungrateful, that I provided this lifestyle for us and our kids. and you don't have to do, and like you have a choice whether you want to work or not, and you can't provide no peace. But listen, that's a liability.
I'm about to flip the script on you real quick. Okay, so I get that. I wholeheartedly get that.
And that's for a house mama.
House mom, right? So say she is doing this, right? And you're like, you need to be there for your man emotionally and this because he's providing. I get that wholeheartedly. But now you're thinking the aspect of a person who is a stay-at-home mom, cooking, cleaning, being around the kids all day. She's gonna deal with depression and all stuff going into that. And it's like, well, I need to support my man and be there for him. But now, am I gonna get the same thing? I'm giving all this to you. Okay, let's reverse the roles real quick. Like, can you give the same thing back to me? That's a good example
because that's how I am now.
Yeah, it's like I be tired, I be overwhelmed, I'm exhausted. Yeah. I love my daughter to death, but damn, I need a break. Like, and then I have to sit here and be like, you know what? Screw everything, babe. How was your day? What can I do for you? Now I gotta cook.
No, it don't gotta be like that.
I know, but I'm saying like that's what they're in the mindset of that as a liability. Okay. Like, you know, I need to be there for you, but nobody's checking on me.
But you know what? It's really not like that. And a lot of girls,
like that.
A lot of modern women think that it's like that. But if you, and you're right, there are scenarios be like, where it's like that.
The hot meal on the table when I come home, the house is clean.
But there are scenarios like that.
Come home and be like, babe, how was your day? Matter of fact, you cooking, let me go settle the kids. Let me go help with their home. And that's why you're saying like they need to help. Like everybody has to help. So,
but there are scenarios like that. I ain't even gonna try to mush that to the side and not say there's not, because there are, because I know some house moms that deal with that. Cause you know, we talking whatever. But I know from speaking from like a personal experience, I can honestly say with me being a house mom, I do have one baby. He's young. He's 9 months. And my husband do all the work and he do all the providing, this, that, and the third, because that's how we set our life up. Now, I used to work. I did what I had to do, for us to be where we are today, just like he did. So basically, like you said, I be tired as shit being a house mom. I ain't even gonna lie. I be cooking, cleaning, taking care of my baby all day. And a lot of people, a lot of men out there try to dismiss that, like, oh, does it really cleaning up all day? Like, and I think that's disrespectful as hell, because it really is a lot when you're a house mom. You're chasing around a baby all day. You're cooking. And then you're cleaning. And then you're trying to make sure you're insane. Your mental is right.
You're working on your body.
So, and a lot of them don't understand that. But a lot of men dismiss it because they either have 0 kids or they only got 1 kid. But even if you do have 1 kid, that shit is hard. It's hard when you got multiple kids. But like you said, I'm not saying dismiss the woman's feelings when the man come home, because he know you at home working your ass off. He see the shit in the throw up on your shirt. He smell the Clorox throughout the house. He know you been doing that, and he's going to appreciate you, and he's gonna make sure that you get your downtime too. Because I know whenever my husband's working all day, I be tired as hell. I'm not gonna lie, but as soon as he done, the food be ready, the house be clean, and he takes the baby for like the whole night, and I'm literally like 5 to 6 hours like of me, because he gets that, he understands that. Absolutely. And that's what he does. So different households and different men who do have their wives as house moms, they have different ways of how they help her decompress and make sure she get her me time as well. But not all of them have that. But I know for the most part, we have that.
I think a lot of people lack support.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people
like
lack support.
In a relationship or outside, individually, like
everybody,
everywhere.
I think that's a really big issue that we're having.
So what do you mean, like as far as support though?
Support friends, family, a village, like everyone. I think that we have lost the value of relationship, like really understanding what it is to be there for other people. We only are doing things that are convenient for us now, like. Oh,
but you know why that is. Like, if you do feel like that, I would say it will seem that way is because like everybody is so like everybody wants help, right? But just work on you, and the help will come on its own. Don't go looking for like, oh my God, I need it. No, just do you. You're gonna struggle. It's okay, and so what? Struggle. Get over that shit. Because this is a hard ass world. Ain't nothing given to you. But eventually, when you working hard and you focus and you doing you, the help is gonna come on its own.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's a relative or somebody you don't even know.
Oh yeah.
And trust me, that shit's gonna come on its own.
So I was definitely gonna say that. Like,
yeah, it's gonna come on its own.
I can't help somebody if
you're not together,
there financially, emotionally. Like, I can't do it. And I'm not even gonna put myself in a situation. Call me selfish, but I'm not gonna help you if I'm not all the way there.
And that brings us back to the
can't do it.
how can, just speaking for a woman, how a woman can be a liability in a marriage or a serious relationship, because a lot of women, they think they're ready for a certain kind of man, but they really don't be ready for that certain kind of man that they think they want.
And I think that's unfair too. Like when you think about it, you know, people be like, oh, you get a whole 180 of a man. Like you go from a toxic relationship and next thing you know, you find this man that's good for you, and then you just can't deal with it. Like to me, that's traumatizing. And to me, you finna put this man through hell because you're not mentally, emotionally ready to deal with that. You're not healed properly. So now it's this whole cycle going over and over again. It's like, when is it going to end though?
It's not like that. Sometimes you get out of a relationship, you're telling guys, you know, no. And some guys are persistent as fuck and they just tire you down. You're like, all right, we going on a date. And then that just evolves. And then you're just like in this process where you're like, I'm still healing. But this person is not willing to let up.
So that's also on your part though, because why are you accepting it when you know you're not fully healed?
Yeah.
But it's like nobody put a gun to your head to be like,
convince you like, you know what? I don't care if you got to heal. I'm going to love you through it. I'm going to love you through your process.
Yeah, but if he care about you and he wants to, he will understand your process. You take it slow with me. Like, let's date slowly. Yeah, like, don't rush me to get into something. Like, I won't say be on standby, but just relax for a second. Like,
you know, can we also address there is a lot of men that get taken care of women? Like, can we talk about that?
Wait, what? Say that again?
It's a lot of men that get taken care of women.
That get taken care of
by women?
By women.
Oh, yeah, I said that last podcast too.
But that's not the man's fault though. That's the woman's fault, because why is your ass taking care of a grown man? That's not his fault. He going where he can get wherever he can.
I'm sitting on this debate.
Because let me tell you this right here.
That was
women, they do the same shit to men. They be with a man because they know what they can get from him. They know, and that's just being honest.
Or they really use men,
right? Or they use them like, come on, you know what you can get.
This is my house. I pay the bills.
Exactly. So if a woman is taking care of a man and he laying up on her couch and he eating her kids' fruit snacks, that's her fault. That is her fault. So when she come crying and saying, I can't find a good man, yeah, because look who you're entertaining, baby.
Okay, look, I've been in a scenario.
Shit.
All right.
That's an Abigail story.
Go ahead. We gotta hear this one. Go ahead.
That's gonna be in like 5 years from now. But
we gonna hit.
She always got a good story.
Yeah, right. You really do.
I have, but
You have what?
I have taken care of a guy, and he had entrepreneur pursuits. So he was doing things that were like.
So the actions were there.
I mean, that's what he was telling me.
Right, but what was you seeing?
I mean, what is there to see?
Well, he's saying
he's saying that
he wants to be an entrepreneur.
Like, I want to start a business, but are you doing things like
he's leaving the house.
Okay.
But you can't really going? But can you really I got my own job, own things to do. I can't really track what you're doing. You're like, okay, we're making progress, but you might not see a return on your investment for years.
Right.
That's true.
Right. I wasn't with them for years now. It was only a few months that this was going on before I was like, nah.
So what made you walk away?
Honestly, they started to be not abusive, but it was just one case where I was like, no, because I see this trending. Yeah, but and it was interesting because it's like they were so appreciative. They're like, thank you so much for like paying for everything and letting me use.
Right, not because they was appreciative, because he had to.
Yeah,
he had to.
But and then you feel like, they always tell you like, you hold it down, I got you for life. Like, you making sure like I can do this and I can set this foundation. I'm gonna take care of you. So it's like that seed promise, like just let me figure this part out and then I'm gonna make sure we good. But there's no guarantee.
Excuse me.
You okay?
Yo, she
like went down on y'all. I'm sorry.
But I will say this: at your today age, you don't got time to be doing that. At your today age, now I get it. Like being younger and you 24? And your dude, y'all both broke. Like y'all just met and we young 23? And we building up. Like that's more workable versus you running into a man that's like 32 years old and he like broke his shit. Like That's kind of like, but no, I'm just saying like I've seen a lot of success stories when you're younger and both of y'all are figuring out life together, then that shit kind of works better. But at your today age, you need to be careful when it comes to running into these men and they like, oh, well, I want to be this, I want to be that. And they looking to be taken care of. That can be a red flag. And a lot of women, that's when they start choosing bad because they don't really see these red flags. So you have to be careful. I'm not saying all men have their shit together by the time they 32 because a lot of them don't. But you need to know the difference as in somebody that's working towards their dream or their goal versus somebody that's just talking with no action. And a lot of women haven't, like, it's like, I'm not saying they blind, but I mean, a lot of women have to stop thinking that they everybody mama. And that's the thing. Like, we're not everybody's mom. Like, and a lot of women, especially black women, we be raising we think we can raise a grown man.
But do you know why that is?
Tell me.
Because they didn't feel like they had somebody taking care of them.
But that's a poor ass excuse.
It is an excuse. It's a trauma response. Right. Honestly, because their parents failed to do what they had to do. So they're like, okay, I know what is supposed to be done. So let me go on and do this.
Okay, you're right. That is a trauma response.
I disagree.
But to a certain extent, because
I see there's a lot of guys. What I'm learning is they're teaching daughters and they're teaching sons two different things. So now we're growing up and the girls are like, I don't like the sons that y'all brought up. And the sons is like, why isn't your daughter taking care of me? No.
Well,
do you see that?
Well, this is the thing though. You can only blame parents to a certain extent.
Right.
Because children grow up to be adults who will grow up to make their own decisions, their own choices. So you can only blame parents to a certain extent. So, but I will say this, like at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff that women are going through is because we put ourselves through that shit. And that's the honest God truth. And it starts when you're young. When you start making those bad decisions and you 16, you 16 and 17 and 18, you making those decisions that you shouldn't be making. It starts with like, we have to take accountability. And as women, we don't really do that. You know why we don't do that? It's because somebody's always going to come save us. Whether it's a relative or whether it's, I don't know, Uncle fucking Sam. We're always gonna, you know, it's true because so
everybody doesn't have everybody.
Right, everybody doesn't have everybody, but if you look at welfare numbers, it's a lot of single ass moms.
Not by choice.
Yeah, but no. Majority is by choice. Because guess what? You picked that man you slept with. You picked him, right?
Girl, people change, girl.
No, see, but let me see, that's another thing. We get with these men and we act like we didn't see what the fuck was wrong with them. We act like we don't see that shit.
Some men are so good. They're very good.
But this is the thing.
Let me tell y'all something. I learned this a long time ago, and I'm gonna give y'all a quick little snippet of like dating wise. A quick snippet. I never tell a man what I want or how I want him to be in a relationship with me because I don't want him to act like what I want. I don't want him to be that. So he'd be like, oh, what you like in a guy? If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. I don't want you to be what I really look for. I'm not saying what I really look for, but you know, like I don't want you to be that type. You know what I'm saying? Be who you are, and if I genuinely like you, or you know, love you, stuff like that, it'll come natural.
Great advice. Great advice.
I never asked. I never let them know what I want to be
like that. That's something I actually like that. But I will say this though. I get what y'all saying. People change, but think about if a lot of women change their standards. Now, hear me out. I get it. You're right. People do change. Shit. I'm married and I'm changing still. Shit. When my man met me, I was 21. I'm not that same shorty, right? Okay, we know that. But you're right. But if we change when we're dating, if we change our standards within ourselves, I promise we will see a lot of that fuckboy shit. You will see it earlier. Because think about this. Imagine all these single moms, right? A lot of them like, oh, he wasn't like that before this, that, and the third. But everything happened so fast. How can you say he wasn't like this at first when it only took him 14 days to sleep with you? You didn't even give it enough time. So as a woman, change your standards. So instead of meeting, okay, boom, you meet him for the first time. Instead of conversating about fucking colors and birthdays and birthday signs and all that bullshit, how about you ask him, is his parents still together? Ask him where he come from. Ask him how old he. Ask him if he has kids. Ask to see his driver license to make sure that shit ain't suspended. Ask to see that shit right there. Say it on there. Okay? No, because guess what? When he show it to you or he say he ain't got it, that's a damn red fucking flag. Okay? Point that I'm making. So what I'm saying is this. A legit question. Well, look, I don't know, but you gonna find out when you ask, and he can't provide that shit.
Ladies.
But hold on, Miguel, let me just wrap this up real quick.
Do a background check on your dude.
But like what I'm saying is, these women within ourselves, change your goddamn standards. Because if you change your standards, you will see a bunch of shit before you get into some shit. So change up your line of questioning. Then boom. Okay, he passed that. Okay, good. Give him your number. That's cool. But instead of sleeping with him, is it 14 days that went by? Why can't you wait longer to wait it out? Date him, have fun, enjoy your friendship. Wait a little bit. Because now a lot of these women, a lot of these women are just getting, think about these, a lot of these single mothers that are in welfare, a lot of them had babies by these men that they didn't even know for a full fucking year. Didn't even know. And then you're like, oh, he changed. Girl, it's been 6 fucking months. What do you know about little Johnny in 6 damn months? Tell me. Nothing. Yeah. But you know his birthday, but you know he a motherfucking Capricorn and he ain't got no fucking car. Like shit like that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like can I women, yes, but let me wrap this up, baby. Change our standards, we get better results. If women don't change their standards, you're gonna have poor results every time. That's all I'm saying.
So I have to, of course, agree with you. I definitely agree. I personally feel like sex is sacred. You know, you don't need to be giving it out. You need to be vetting the people before, doing what you have to do. But my rebuttal is, because I had this conversation with somebody and it's like, if all women just change their standards, right? Mm-hmm. Just say, all right, you have to do this, or this is the new thing. In order for you to get women, they said men would change. And I said, baby, that's already happening and men are not rising to the occasion, right? Right? So the new thing right now is women are calling men to be better providers, right? And men are saying, we're not doing that. That's prostitution.
Wait, Abigail, wait a minute, Abigail, baby, you losing me, baby.
Wait a minute.
Wait a fucking minute. Bree Love about to pass the fuck out. You need water?
I'm good now.
Bree Love about to pass out. I'm lost. What do you mean? Go back.
So I'm trying to explain. They're saying if there's something that all women.
This is our laughing moment because you funny as hell.
Every episode.
Every fucking time. But go ahead, girl.
I'm saying they're like, if women change their standards, right? So if every woman just made a pact, okay, we all gonna wait 90 days before we can have sex with a new partner, right? So now guys gonna have to be on their best behavior for the first 90 days.
But that's the bullshit. Why? They only act like that because they want to get it though.
But he don't know when you gonna give it to him. Why would you tell him you waiting 90 days though? Why can't you just? Tell him, though. Yeah, you don't tell him. When I mean change, you don't tell him. You just keep going till you feel like he's shown you enough of himself.
I agree, but I'm saying so the thing that women have started to all be on the same page about is getting money. That's a good point. That's what I'm saying. If I'm going to be in a relationship with you, I want you to put some money into this. That's men value money. And if you value me, you're going to give me money, right? That's what women are doing. And then men are like, y'all are some prostitutes. They're not, some men are paying, right? Or some men, different people are viewing this whole women want to get paid out of relationships thing as tricking. Some people are are you getting what I'm trying to?
I do. I get what you're saying. You may be explaining it where people have a difficulty of understanding it, but okay. I do get what you're saying. I do get it. And what I will say to that is this right here. When you talk to, the human nature.
Right.
When we talk to somebody, whether we're becoming their friend, their boyfriend, or their husband or their wife, you interact with somebody because they can do something for you.
Right.
That's the human nature.
Yes.
Yeah, benefits. Like everything is a benefit. Like I'm not trying to be rude, but we're connecting off the benefit of this, right?
Right.
You know, and what comes with that is, okay, shit, we really are cool now. Like, you know, like that extra bonus come with it. So the human nature is to when you meet people and you communicate, obviously it's something got to be beneficial, because what are we doing if it's not beneficial, right?
Right.
So a lot of men don't have a problem with like providing for the woman, but it's just that women, now these are men that got their shit together.
What men are you referring to?
No, I'm talking about men who got their shit together and men who are in a mind space where like that's what they want to do.
I think that's the problem. Men just nowadays, people just don't have their shit together.
I won't say that. I will say, excuse me, y'all. I'm dying over here. Excuse me. I will say this. Probably close out this whole argument because I'm gonna just dead in the bud. A man gonna do what he want to do with who he wants to do it for.
Okay, and I hate to say it, but that's a good little ending as well. That's good. She right. A man gonna do what he want to do, who he want to do it for. It don't matter what the hell you bringing to the table, because a girl can have a badass job. She can have all this money and be this beautiful corporate working woman. But guess what? He won't give her shit. But a woman who ain't got shit, that's pretty as fucking in shape and don't got a fucking job, he'll give her ass the world. Don't ask why, but a man gonna do what he want to do for who he want to do it for. That's what they do, girl.
So is it, do you think it's, how do you feel about women now saying, I want money out of this relationship?
I mean, there's women who do straight up and say that, but a lot of the times women who straight up and say that relationship definitely has a deadline. Definitely.
Yeah, so it's not like
it's definitely has an expiration date.
Yeah.
It's not even it's fun with an expiration date on it. That's all.
Friends with benefits.
With the early expiration date.
So do you think people are really interested in real relationships nowadays?
I think there are men out there that are really interested in real relationships, but they have a hard time finding that, because a lot of modern women are on this boss babe shit and they're trying to battle these men. And if they stop trying to battle and stop trying to be equal to these men out here, then they will be able to see these good men. Versus, because when a woman is about like, oh, I'm bossed up. Now you so bossed up that you just talking to any fucking body. Like, cause you a boss. Cause at the end of the day, remember, you don't need nobody. You don't need him. You do what the fuck you want to do when you want to do it and how you want to do it. Cause you don't need him.
Wait, are you saying modern women are the same as independent women?
That's how they act.
Ooh, that's gonna be another topic.
That's how they act.
Because
that's how they act. That's how they act. That's gonna be another topic. That's how they act.
That's gonna be another topic.
But because I consider myself non-traditional.
Right.
But I don't consider myself an independent woman.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't consider myself no independent woman either. But because everybody's like independent to a certain extent. Like we all do independent shit, but you don't have to be a woman wandering around saying I'm independent, because you being independent, it shows. You boasting around saying that it's not gonna just bring a cloud of like these fabulous men over you because you say you're claiming you're independent. So that's really not doing shit. But what I'm saying is a lot of modern women are doing that independent bullshit. They are. So let me ask you something before we, start heading to the end. If you got a man and y'all get married and he is just like an awesome provider, he giving you these wonderful bomb ass provisions, he bringing home the bacon, you ain't gotta worry about shit. And you got a job, y'all got kids and little kids, and he come to you and he like, we secure, we got life insurance, we good, you ain't gotta worry about shit. But I don't want you in the workforce. I want you raising my kids, not the daycare. What would you do? Honestly, if that shit really happens, think before you answer this shit. Because that shit can really happen. So if that happens and he tells you, no more work, I want you home, I don't want my kids in daycare, I want you doing that shit. What are you doing?
And you explain to him what you're doing is your purpose in life.
You know what? That's even better. This makes me happy. This is what I want to do. This, that, and the third. And he tell you, I don't want you being happy working for somebody else. I want you to be home with these kids, and then that way, when it's time for us to go on vacation, this, that, and the third, you ain't gotta fucking ask nobody because I'm gonna see your ass.
I would know. First of all, I would never get married to a motherfucker that even tries me to tell me that I don't care if you're happy. Oh, you don't care about my happiness?
Well, he's not saying he didn't say that. He didn't say he don't care.
That's what you just said.
No. He knows.
He said like not happy, like working, like
like
in the workforce.
Yeah, like he doesn't want you in the workforce.
But what if my work is my purpose?
What if he wants you to quit your job and be at home and work on your own shit? Get your own business.
He want to build his own shit with you. He don't want you working for nobody.
But that's what I want for me.
Right, that's what you want. But this is a man that women do not come across every day that's providing you beautiful everything. You have a beautiful, comfortable home. You got beautiful little ass kids running around.
I'm not understanding the question.
The question is,
if a man, your husband, a sole great man,
provider,
provision. I don't want you working. Not saying that because you're not happy. I just want you to go into your own
business, and he wants me to let go of my business.
No, you don't have your own business.
You don't have your own business.
I'm going to. That's
no. That's the thing. We're not talking about. It don't got to be solely you. But if you're working for somebody,
I'm not you don't have to for somebody.
Right, but let's just say, okay, fuck it. Let's just say
she's on the host.
She did right, but you are going to be. So let's just say you're working. You're reporting to someone like you're working. You're making fair enough money, this, that, and the third. But everything he doing trumps all that shit. And if he tells you, even though you happy going to work, I like going to work, but he tells you like, look, cut that shit out. I want you home with these kids, and I want to provide. I want to take care of you. And then he said that, and this is your husband. And he's a good man.
I don't like working for people.
Okay, then that's the answer then. But you want to know what's crazy though? That a lot of modern women
won't do that.
They won't do that. You know why they won't do that? I'm about to tell you why. You want to know why? Because all the shit they've been through and all the fuck boys they've been fucking with, the first thing they think of, you not controlling me. That's what they're gonna think.
I'm not submitting to you.
So if a woman went through, let's say she's a lawyer, and she went through schooling, and this is her passion, and this is what she wants to do, and a man is like, no, I don't want you to be a lawyer. I want you to just stay at home with the kids, and that's what fulfills her. And she's
let's just be honest though.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
A woman in a powerful job and position like that, she knows better to get with a man that eventually is gonna want that. Like her lineup in men is not gonna be like that.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
It's
like
not gonna
that's
be
why
like
that question didn't make sense to me because
but you're not a lawyer.
The type of man. No, right. but I am actually going back to school next month. She just be a doctor.
I'm just saying, like
a scenario.
It's just a scenario. It may not be
the men that I get with, I make it very clear, like, these are the things that fuel me, and if that doesn't work for you, then we should just be friends.
Right.
And then I get with guys that honor those similar, like, they're entrepreneurs a lot of times. They have their goals and ambitions. Right. And we have those conversations before it even gets serious, like where our values lie.
But so what you're saying is when you meet a man and you tell him everything that fuels you, he has to understand every little single thing that fuels you. He can't have no question. It can't be no compromising. It can't be shit.
I didn't say that.
No, but I'm asking you now.
Oh yeah, like he definitely
because there's gonna be things that fuel him, and then y'all are gonna like mix it together. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm cool with mixing.
And y'all will mix it together. Okay,
that's fine.
Moral of the podcast today
is women out there.
Men gonna do what they want to do for who they want when they want to.
But at the same time,
what about women?
Don't be a liability.
Don't be a liability.
Women have been trained and programmed to accept whatever they can take half the time.
Those are some women. Some women are like that. But at the end, 80-20. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna keep making excuses for women out here. I get it. We may say we programmed to do that shit, but I wasn't programmed to do that shit. I see ratchet shit on TV. I see all that shit. But what I'm saying at the end of the day, as women, us and all the women out there, we got to take accountability into who we lay up with, who we choose to spend our time with.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, like when things don't go as planned, like we be hurting the most. So
it's
women,
our fault.
It's our fault. Change your standards. I promise if you change your standards, you'll become a better chooser when it comes to these men. You will actually be like, oh, he deserves my time. Oh, he definitely doesn't deserve my time, you know?
Right.
So as women, you gotta take accountability, change your standards, and just choose better. That's pretty much, I would say, for me.
That's it.
Any last words, Abigail?
Holy Grail.
Oh yeah, my bad. Holy Grail.
No, I definitely agree with upholding standards. I definitely agree with, understanding who is deserving of your time and energy. I agree with all of that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
you good, Bree Love?
Yet here we are.
Right. Yet.
Yes. Follow us. Subscribe. Get the notifications. Follow us on IG. All that. We love you. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.